Hi, and welcome to the Exceptional Average podcast, AI for the rest of us. My name is Jan, and I am the host. I just finished another recording with Patryk Wawok, one of the leading SEO experts on LinkedIn and one of the best SEO guys I have ever spoke to. So to me personally, this was like a dream come true. We had discussion about how Google is changing the game, how search engines work, what's important in Patrick's opinion in building up a reputational business and a very good business which is selling products and making money. What is important more than technical or content SEO? And I just enjoyed it a lot. So I hope you will do too. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Wingman, the first sponsor ever on my podcast. So thank you very much for actually being so open to making this happen. And I hope it will bring more and more sponsors to the podcast because honestly, it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy and effort to create any episode I do. Still, thank you very, very much for listening. Enjoy this episode. Ciao.
I'm sure you can get ideas from ChatGPT, but your company is your company, and I think your own perspective, your own personality is like 100 times more valuable than whatever ChatGPT will spew out and you just paste it on your website. Technical SEO never ends because there are always new things you can add, new issues that pop up, and yeah, especially for like large businesses, large websites.
Hi, and welcome to the Exceptional Average podcast. My name is Jan, and I am the host. Today, I have a guest who will be covering a topic which is very close to me, and that's SEO. Hi, Patrick.
Hello, Jan. Thank you
Welcome
for
to
the invitation.
welcome to my podcast.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me and like having me here.
I'm super excited because I have so many questions on my list. But before I jump into the topic, I will just introduce you very shortly. So, Patrick, you have experience with e-commerce businesses mostly, as far as
Yeah,
I know, and you help them with technical SEO and content using your experience from working with multiple Fortune 100 and 500 brands. Is that correct?
yeah. With Fortune 100 and 500, I worked with like a couple of agencies in my life, and I had like Fortune 100 and 500 experience with them. They were mostly e-commerce, but not only. I worked with SaaS companies, with B2B companies, but a lot of like very large ones, but also some medium ones. But yeah, right now I'm mostly focused on e-commerce.
Mhm. And can you tell me and to the listeners, like, what does it mean, get conversions with technical SEO and content? For somebody who doesn't know what SEO is, like, can you describe it shortly what you do?
Um, I tend to combine, as you mentioned, technical SEO and content, mostly because I feel like with technical SEO you can build a very strong, good technical foundation for your website to make sure search engines can see, can crawl, can index and rank your pages, and also you improve your overall user experience with proper navigation, with proper web performance, everything in between. With technical SEO, you build the strong technical foundation, and with content, you can actually bring users um, that will try to convert on your website. You can generate traffic from like mostly conversion driven content. So a lot of content focus on bottom funnel or middle parts of the funnel in sales. Mm, and with by combining both of those, you can make sure that the content will or like the traffic that you will generate will be positive, and users will actually enjoy your site, find the functionalities that they are looking for, and convert on your website. So that's why I like to combine both.
And when you say convert, does it mean that they only, for example, read the articles or they really buy the products? Because I have an experience now in Poland. We have this site called XYZ. I don't know if you have seen it.
Is this news website, right? Something like
Yes,
that.
yes, it's a news website. Yes, they have everything besides exceptional whatever experience they have. They are full of commercials. The website is looks very bad to my opinion, or in my opinion, and I don't think that they convert. But what, like, what is the balance between technical SEO and making the site fast and filled with proper codes and so on, and where is the part when the content is actually the king?
That's a very very good question, and I think I need to answer it as every SEO. So it depends, and I think the barrier between technical SEO and content shouldn't be look at it this way. You should look at barrier between how to optimize your website for search engines versus how to optimize it for users. And right now, this barrier is like those two areas are overlapping with each other. And now, like more and more Google documentation or mm, overall SEO approach is focused on optimizing their website for users, especially after the Google leak that happened. Was it this year or last year? I don't remember now. There was a huge API leak from Google with a couple of hundred parameters or even over 1,000 parameters that they looked at for ranking, and a lot of them were focused on gathering user data. So stuff like positive clicks, negative clicks, time
Mhm.
spent on site, and it looks like if Google is trying to understand uh, actually if the search results that they are providing in Google are actually answering user needs, and try to gather positive feedback from users. You can even there are even patents that focus on voice search, for example, and try to get your like sentiment from your voice. So for example, if you are searching for something in a negative voice, or like when you are angry, and when you are positive about something, so they're trying to get as much user data from your behavior on the website to rank it better. And you can optimize your website for positive user data, doing both technical SEO and content. You can get positive user data from valuable content with like in-depth analysis, with further sessions. So users are, for example, navigating to other pages on your website. But also with technical
Mhm.
SEO, you can have uh, proper, for example, data about your products on your e-commerce. You can have I don't know, like tools, calculators that users will be just using and enjoying on
Mhm.
your website, and users will and with this with all those interactions, uh, it will be just this more beneficial for you. And this is also just technical SEO. So I think there's a
Mhm.
huge overlap, but as long as you are focusing on optimizing your website for users, you're doing good SEO.
Mhm. And you said a very interesting thing about the interaction, right? Like, I have a couple of websites, like company website, of course. I have a food
Mhm.
blog which is still online,
Yeah.
and already in the past, I have been working around with calculators as well. I saw the value, but to make them good technically, that's a big problem because you either must, like code it from the scratch. And when you use third party plugin, for example, it usually doesn't work the way you want. So the interactions of the user is actually worse than it's just by reading the articles.
Yeah.
But in general, so this is something you would recommend to, for example, e-commerce brands to create better user experience through interaction.
Yeah. I would say it relates to both, as you mentioned, just calculators or other related tools. I know, like builders that you might have to, for example, IKEA has this like kitchen builder tool. You can like,
Hmm.
for example, use it to like create like a visualization of the kitchen that you want to have in your place. And yeah, this is just one of the examples, and for sure you can have something similar for uh, like many other e-commerces. But also you can look at more like general approach. You can have make sure that you have, for example, user reviews on your website. Make sure you
Hmm.
have like FAQs. You answer your user questions, because people are just searching for those things. And having these insights, and giving users options uh, to, for example, send you a review, create an account on your website, add like
Hmm.
create wish lists of products, create I don't know, like having this for user approach with custom functionality. Usually it's custom because having
Mm-hmm.
your like user accounts and user functionalities, it depends on the website. Especially I saw it working a lot very well in B2B,
Mm-hmm.
where they have like wish lists. They have I know some like some businesses are doing like custom discounts for like users, newsletters. All of that can be
Mm-hmm.
helpful, and you can see that even using recently I was just testing and using, for example, Perplexity, this AI search engine, to compare brands on
Mm-hmm.
functionalities. So I compared like my client's brand and like a top brand in his niche, and you can see how, like, what kind of information can AI get from websites. So, for example, I saw that this top brand was marketing a lot that they are sending their products in 24 hours, and
Mm-hmm.
my client wasn't doing that. So we are planning on adding that, for example, that we, because we already are doing that, we just don't communicate it on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And having this clear information and all those functionalities that you already might provide, you just need to communicate it properly. And yeah, that's the key to both have this functionality but
Mm-hmm.
also show users that you have them. Because uh, for example, also another B2B client I worked at this year, I worked with this year, they had this entire user section where they could create wish lists, add products to favorites, but and they didn't want like any user to create an account by themselves, so you had to contact them directly and they would create your account for you, because
Okay.
they wanted to work with like larger brands and all that, so do the
Mm-hmm.
filtering on their end. But they didn't communicate nowhere on their website that you should
Mm-hmm.
contact them to create an account. There was no information about it, and after fixing that, they get more and more contacts. And yeah, that's the combination of functionality and pretty much user experience.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking about like there are probably so many information that e-commerce businesses or any other businesses are not communicating. For example, what do you think about an e-commerce which is closed to the public, meaning that only once you register on a site you can actually
Yeah,
buy the product?
yeah, that's I think that's a huge roadblock, at least even for me personally. When
Mm-hmm.
I usually, when there is an option for like buying as a guest, I usually buy as a guest because I don't need another account, and I
Mm-hmm.
think many users also don't need another account to just purchase something. And yeah, I think that's a very good point to not uh, not require having an account on your website just to purchase something. But yeah, it's a tough one, especially for like B2B websites, larger companies. But yeah,
I can tell you one thing, that I'm also a person who is not registering everywhere. When I do not need to do it, I don't do it simply.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
So
buy as a guest. So I very welcome that actually option
yeah,
on sites.
yeah, yeah. Same here. Or I could just use like a burner account and like burner email just to get, I don't know,
Hmm.
like a 10% discount from a newsletter, and disappear from with this account. I don't tend to use my like main accounts for purchasing.
Okay, okay. Some tips for the listener. So just Google burner accounts and you will see what Patrick means. So, Patrick, you already started to talk about AI a little bit. You mentioned Perplexity, right? That's one of
Yeah.
the probably not the best one, but probably the most popular search engine, AI search engine. But my question is like, Google is working on automatization. Actually, they want to implement AI, right? It's not so popular in Europe as far as I know. It's more popular in states, right? That
Yeah.
instant search, what's that it called actually?
Like AI overviews.
AI overviews, yes. And do you think that this is the future, what will like come into us, like Google will have AI powered answers only, or the traditional search will still be there?
I think it it's going to, I think it will be both uh, in the future, because like the user behavior, I think it will evolve. It's for sure,
Mm-hmm.
because we are so accommodated to having like 10 search results, eight search results for the last 25 years, even close to 30 years now. And I don't think it will change that
Mm-hmm.
fast. Like I don't think we will see like this sudden growth in like AI, just AI reviews, or just
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, or just Perplexity, those
Mm-hmm.
chatbot based, or the um, conversational search engines. I don't think this is what will happen in the near future, but I'm sure that it will evolve, and people will
Mm-hmm.
be as long as the quality of the AI search results will be there, and I think it will just get better and better. Because right now you saw, for example, for sure, like many botched results with, I don't know, putting glue on a pizza, or smoking when being
Yeah.
pregnant, or and this is like the first stage, and I think Google tried to put AI overviews out there in a state which was a bit undercooked, but
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft Bing did the same thing with Copilot,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure like mm, other search engines, or like AI improvements into search engines are also um, not perfect still,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they will just get better and better. And yeah, I'm sure that it will be like really interesting, and SEO for sure will not be only Google centric
Mm-hmm.
in the next, I don't know, 5-10 years, because yeah, the market will change, but depends on how well Google will adapt. And because right now you saw that ChatGPT, or like ChatGPT as a
Mm-hmm.
search engine is growing. Younger people are using TikTok as a search engine,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because they have like this human to human connection with TikTok, and yeah, the behaviors are starting to change, and we'll see how it goes in the future.
So besides the AI being everywhere, you also see changes on social media, how the people use it. Because for me, this TikTok news is actually pretty informative. I don't know about that one. That this is what younger generation does actually.
Yeah, yeah, I was also pretty surprised. I don't remember right now the exact percentages.
Mhm.
What was the share of searches, but especially like Gen Alpha and very young people, because they use TikTok as a social media. The amount of content present on TikTok, and also many even businesses are just starting
Mhm.
doing like informative short videos, and I think this is what uh, is driving traffic right now. And
Mhm.
you can see how search engines like Google tries to also adapt to it. They have
Mhm.
I think they introduced last year, or a bit earlier maybe, like the short videos tab in search results.
Mhm.
They want to showcase that. They want to, like, YouTube is pushing YouTube shorts, and
Mhm.
all of that, because they see what creates engagement, what creates like positive user behaviors. Not sure about conversions, about on like TikTok, because TikTok also has some like TikTok stores, and you can have like e-commerces embedded into TikTok.
Mhm.
But seems to be working. Seems to be working really well, and yeah, I think it's like many search engines and many companies are trying to adapt to everything. So Google
Mhm.
introduces short videos to search, introduces AI overviews to compete with ChatGPT, introduces like other features, and yeah, I think this it's very very interesting, and it's just evolving all the time.
Definitely. I'm lately focusing more on digital marketing and social media, not so much on TikTok, but the rest, for example, LinkedIn. I'm just doing the test where I post all my content on three platforms actually: LinkedIn and Instagram. That's old school, right?
Hmm.
But also on TikTok. And I can tell you the reach is the best one on TikTok, definitely, but is actually the less converting one. So I do not have any conversions yet besides one follower per, I don't know, couple of days, but I don't see. But I believe, and I strongly agree, that it's better to also, like test for businesses to adapt to whatever we are doing as a creators as well. And I'm just thinking, going back a little bit, Google was the biggest player, right? The search engine of the search engines, let's say. And recently, and even 2 months ago, when first ChatGPT introduced the search option, like the official GPT search,
Mhm.
I was skeptical because I tested it and the links were not, going there. They were not proper URLs included in the search. But
Mhm.
recently, since last week, I'm using GPT search more and more, and I'm very satisfied with the results. So the change I have seen in 2 months is actually really discouraging me from using Google and encouraging me to use, search GPT. What do you think about this change?
Um, yeah, as I mentioned, I think those tools will just get better and better. And I would suggest like remembering that the fact that ChatGPT is still new,
Hmm.
and to end like year 2002 maybe, Google was also really good. And I think this is that there is like, I don't know, Venn diagram or whatever of companies or like digital products where they are when they are starting, they are like building the best product they can to gather as many users as they can, and then they slowly and slowly try to convert more and more, lowering the quality of the product. So you
Hmm.
can see that with Google, where like the search results were really great and like possibly in like 2010, or there was like a golden period of Google,
Hmm.
and then they started pushing ads and more ads, and like the quality of search declined over some years. Then it bounced back, then got back down again. And even Google, I think even Danny Sullivan last year or in 2022, I don't remember now, after one of the helpful content updates,
Hmm.
they mentioned that uh, throughout the year of 2022 or 2023, they actually they got it wrong. They made the search worse. They see the results of the updates that they did, and
Hmm.
they said that, yeah, we fucked it up, and they they know that, and they are trying to reverse some changes and make it better. Like overall, their goal is to make the search better, because if the quality of their product declines too much,
Hmm.
it's no good for them, especially when the market is getting more and more competitive. With ChatGPT, I think they are currently in this golden period. They might be, because
Hmm.
the quality of the search results of the product will just increase. We'll see how it goes with
Hmm.
ads, or like when they will have to convert it, because the
Hmm.
ChatGPT already has, like ChatGPT already has those subscriptions
Hmm.
for better AI models, and maybe they will try to use it as a part of conversion. But I don't think they will go, if the ChatGPT, for example, will be only paid, they will never surpass Google, because
Hmm.
Google is free. And yeah, we'll see. We need to see how it goes, um, how ChatGPT balances the quality of the product versus the like the greed, the money that
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
want to they want to make from it.
That's correct. And I can confirm that one. I discovered SEO when I started with my food blog. It was already 2016. So it's 8 years ago. And I jumped onto, like SEO. I tried to create better content. I discovered what are actually meta descriptions and that they are important sometimes, right? And I'm laughing now because I see even in 2024, it's almost 2025, I still see businesses that don't do that, right? They don't follow the basics. So uh, even in this, what my point is here, that I see many people struggling currently with those updates and that Google messing up the search. So my question is, and I see that I don't have, for example, SEO clients anymore. Like I changed the scope of services, like from SEO focus to, and content to more social media and so on and websites,
Mhm.
because I don't know, they lost the trust in SEO, or what do you think? Like,
Um, it might be the thing to. They might have lost the trust, or they invested so much. And I think all of it comes to like the education, and
Mm-hmm.
we as SEOs are usually responsible for educating the client. And my mantra that I like to follow is to not get happy when like charts are going high, and not get sad when the charts go low, because
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned, Google is not perfect. It will never be. And if your traffic is going up, then good. But if there is a Google update and your
Mm-hmm.
traffic starts to going down, but you are for sure like you are doing good SEO, great content,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, uh, don't worry about it. Just Google might be just testing your site, and you should either just continue what you are doing, or mm, just evaluate what you are doing, maybe what's going on in the search, and improve your strategy if something is going wrong. But be patient, wait until
Mm-hmm.
the next Google update, and you should there should be some change, because usually the traffic rearranges during those main core updates. And of course, there are cases of websites which were great. I think, for example, was it called House of Fresh or something like that? There was like a
Mm-hmm.
huge, very popular website with like air purifier reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I think so, which was written by humans, by real people, and they lost like 95% of traffic during Google Content Helpful update, or like a ton of traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure, but they didn't recover that over like
Mm-hmm.
years and years. And this was during this period when Google mentioned that they like messed
Mm-hmm.
up the search results, and you can see that this Google can make or break your business pretty much. I
Mm-hmm.
think in that case, it's good to have SEO. Either way, I think SEO should be like not marketing area, but
Mm-hmm.
just a business
Mm-hmm.
building area. But I wouldn't put all my eggs into one basket, just to have other um, other channels, as you, for example,
Mm-hmm.
mentioned social media.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, I think, is huge right now, and together combined with SEO, because Google tries to, or like other search engines tries to understand authority, and
Mm-hmm.
where are real people that have this authority, like on social media. You have this contribution or this qualification mentioned. For example, on LinkedIn, you have this person's, like, I don't know, thesis that they wrote in universities, their education, their experience,
Mm-hmm.
everything is usually written down on social media. And just showcasing that based on your authors, I think it's very valuable for businesses. And you shouldn't put like just focus on just SEO, just website, just
Mm-hmm.
doing just this. I think SEO like goes way beyond just website right now, and
Mm-hmm.
which is scary, because there's just even more work for us to do. But that's the
That,
truth. That's the
that's good, right?
yeah, that's really good. But it's just getting more and more complex, because
Mm-hmm.
you know, like back in like 2012 or whatever, you could just buy 100 links or write
Yeah.
just a couple of articles, and you were ranking everywhere. That, like, even for example, in Poland, we had as far as I remember, it was a search engine from Onet. If
Mm-hmm.
you And they had their own search engine, like 2006, 8, something like that. And they had like their own documentation, and you could report uh, businesses or websites if they were not following the
Mm-hmm.
documentation, and
Mm-hmm.
they would just index them. So you could pretty much check the documentation, pick all your
Mm-hmm.
competitors, and index their
Yeah,
website from
exactly.
on it.
I was thinking
And
about the same.
yeah, so you could just do that. And yeah, it was way simpler back then. But yeah, SEO is just getting more and more complex, but also more and more interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And I have a question because shit happens sometimes. For example, Real Madrid, the club, right, the football club, they were migrating their website from one team to other one, and somebody forgot to actually include all the meta descriptions and keywords and almost all the content. So they lost millions and millions of traffic from one day to another. But it's Real Madrid, right? So it's one of the biggest football club on the world, if not the biggest. So they recovered very quickly. But for example, on LinkedIn, I have another case where I don't remember the website anymore, but they were the first one who said, we published 10,000 AI written articles and we are the number one in, I don't know, thousands and thousands of keywords. 1 year after, Google actually penalized them and they lost everything they were preaching. So now the question is like, what do you think about all these AI generated content and human generated content?
Yeah, I think that's a very huge shift in content creation right now, because like creating content and articles was never that cheap as it is right now. You
Mm-hmm.
can literally plop your like simple prompt in ChatGPT and get an article. And I think this is just a like a arms race between AI and Google, and that's why Google like pushes. I think maybe they had like a what was the word, like clairvoyant vision
Mm-hmm.
in the future, where they tried to put EAT like since 2018, before this AI boom, because they must have known that like creating AI content will be just simpler and simpler, mm, and it'll be just more and more popular. And mm, I think that you need to remember that AI content is like repeatable.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody can write the same article from AI, because everybody is using the same like AI
Mm-hmm.
models. There are like, I don't know, there are probably a lot. But you can also build your own, but all of them will be very similar to each other, and we're using very similar language, and mm, you have to just improve it, improve the wording, and to make it not sound as AI as possible. And as you mentioned, if Google sees that you are just using AI content, it's no good, especially if it's not valuable. Mm, One thing to remember is like what's the benefit of human writing content. That's why Google is putting this much focus into experience and your original opinions, original facts. Having your own images, having your own like experience with a given product or whatever you are talking
Mm-hmm.
about. I think this is what AI will never be able uh, to figure out, because they will get hallucinations, they will get like the facts wrong, and this is very bad, very even, I would say even scary, because for example, I saw in Poland like a website focused on animals, and
Mm-hmm.
they had a lot of like medical articles written by AI, for example,
Mm-hmm.
about mm, like different diseases and how to treat them. But they mentioned that they created like the entire blog section with
Mm-hmm.
AI, and I think the implications and the like decline in quality is like prominent with AI, and I hope that Google will figure it out how to rank just quality content. I'm not saying that AI content will always be low quality, because it
Mm-hmm.
could be, and
Mm-hmm.
similarly to ChatGPT, it will only get better and better. But I don't think it will be original. It will never be original. Humans will always write on their own.
And that's something I'm just like thinking, I started to focus on LinkedIn really just a couple of months back, probably six months ago.
Mhm.
The change I have seen in the content created by people and then content created by AI, you can feel it. If you created tons of and hundreds of content, then you spot it immediately. And some people actually are preaching like, "Oh, this content is created by AI. I wrote this ebook by, or for example, book by AI," and I'm like not sure what to think anymore. Like, where is the authenticity? Where is the experience? As you say, yes, you can write fluff with AI. You can, like use it to fill out the blank pages. But still, you need some tangible information you want to pass, right? Because on the other side, I have and I observe on LinkedIn a person who is actually having probably 100,000, more, even 150,000 followers. His content is AI generated, but it has absolutely the best value ever. Every post he posts is 99% valuable. So there is very unlikely that you see it, right? So I think
Mhm.
those people are kind of safe. But on the other side, what about the rest? Like where everybody is saying, "Look, this content was written by AI." Like, where is it heading, right?
Yeah, yeah. As you mentioned, as long as it's valuable, it's good. But I think it's only it won't like increase like the value threshold. It
Mm-hmm.
won't like put the what's the word for that? Like it won't level up the quality that's going on with LinkedIn. For
Mm-hmm.
example, a lot of like top creators on LinkedIn or in pretty much every niche and like everywhere, like the content, like the quality is only getting better. You can see that I don't know, like websites are having like expert reviewers, fact checkers,
Mm-hmm.
like there are like in like medical sphere, like on WebMD, there are like I don't know 5, 6, 10 people that are writing a single article just because they want to have like as many like expert opinions, expert views on a given topic. On LinkedIn also you can see um, like the quality of the images of the I don't know like right now videos that's going on LinkedIn. Like the quality is just increasing, and I
Mm-hmm.
think AI will be just like trying to catch up
Mm-hmm.
always because as I mentioned, AI is not an innovation. Sorry, it is an innovation, but it's not like bringing innovation. It just helps you do what we are already doing,
Mm-hmm.
and innovation will always come from humans, from like original ideas that we have, and AI will probably use that and will be just quicker and quicker with like stealing those ideas and
Mm-hmm.
getting better. But um, I think like the threshold that will be increasing only with humans,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's just my point of view here.
Yeah, and I'm very happy actually that we brought up the LinkedIn because I have a super duper note, and that's about you. That I just discovered that you are actually a top 40 SEO experts to follow on LinkedIn,
Am
and
I?
that's not by one person, but probably I have seen 5 or 6 posts who mentioned you as a top SEO expert to follow on LinkedIn. So everybody who is on LinkedIn and needs to get some information, and businesses who are listening, Patryk is the guy. So I will
Yeah,
include
thank
the
you.
link to your profile. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I saw some people mentioning me in some lists. Also, there's a tool called Favicon, I believe, and this is like an influencer marketing platform, and you can
Hmm.
also like filter out by like LinkedIn creators. And I think I'm somewhere in there, also in the SEO niche. I think I for some quite some time I was like the first position in Poland,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't know how global am I.
I need to check that one, but still, thank you very much for the recommendation. And it seems that whatever you do, you are doing it well. So, congratulations from my side.
Thank you. Thank you very
But
much.
but Patrick, before we actually go into other topics, I have one which appeared very recently. I see many businesses preaching that AI is helping them to get not only traffic but also real clients. So whenever you search for, or I search for some business, or users are searching, right, there are recommendations of businesses popping up in the chat. For example, Brand 24 is
Hmm.
one of those Polish brands for social listening, founded by Michal Sadowski, who actually says that that's one of the best referral channels for them, ChatGPT. Like, how can I, as a business, doesn't know anything about AI, doesn't know anything about SEO, get my company to that big library and beat the competition, probably, like to appear in the first places, for example? How can I do
Yeah.
that?
Uh, I think it might sound like ominous or like very general, but actually create a business. Don't create just a website. and put like actual business behind your website,
Mm-hmm.
behind your like contact forms, whatever you have. And I think, for example, Brand 24 is a very well established. They have like a, I don't know, like they were established like 15 years ago. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a very pretty old company. And to have like this amount of footprint, like I think do the same thing as large brands are doing. So have a proper LinkedIn, have a proper I don't know, Google My Business, or like mention all
Mm-hmm.
your location. Have like your About Us page on your website to put your actual face on your
Mm-hmm.
About Us page, contact pages. Mention who is working there, why, like what's their expertise. Connect them with social media, like their own
Mm-hmm.
social media on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. There are so many things to showcase both search engines but also AI models, that your brand is an actual brand, not
Mm-hmm.
only a not only just a website or like a
Mm-hmm.
fake business, because there are so many that are popping up right now. Fake businesses just by being there. Um, Make sure that you like create an actual company. And it also goes back to what we mentioned at the beginning, like add proper functionalities,
Mm-hmm.
showcase like the value that you have for your users. So create tools, create everything. Like it's not simple, unfortunately. I think you can have like most of what I mentioned can be done pretty quickly, like, about us page. All of it is usually content, but building a company is tough, but
Mm-hmm.
it is worth it. It is worth it, and as long as you have like this or this information somewhere, and enhancing your digital footprint, like for example, like
Mm-hmm.
doing podcasts as we are doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
or by like appearing in like social media, appearing everywhere, like even like offline events, getting links. All of it will impact your like brand recognition,
Mm-hmm.
and but with that you will just start to appear more and more in AI models and in search engines, because that's what pretty much SEO is now about. But
Mm-hmm.
also like business building. That's why I mentioned like SEO should be a business building tool, because
Mm-hmm.
like it's touching branding so much right now. It's touching social media. It's touching so many areas that SEO is usually so like highly connected to just the business.
Mm-hmm. And just to add a follow-up question to this one, so there are no shortcuts. I cannot just go to ChatGPT and customize it a little bit and then give him some information like about my company to speed it up. Doesn't work like that.
I'm sure you can get ideas
Mm-hmm.
from ChatGPT, but your company is your company, and I think your own perspective, your own personality is like 100 times more valuable than whatever ChatGPT will spew out, and you just paste it on your website.
Mm-hmm.
Like like having you um, mm, as your own, just
Mm-hmm.
for example, I can see it in, for example, I watch a lot of YouTube, and you can see like brand personality and like YouTube sponsors that they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are like more creative, less creative. What they are talking about, how much freedom they are giving to creators when like um, advertising their products. You can see like this attitude that some of those brands have. Like I don't know, Manscaped is, for example, doing like very bold, like meme-worthy content and meme-worthy advertisements, and like the images that they have on the website. All of it uh, is something that ChatGPT will not
Mm-hmm.
replicate. And
Mm-hmm.
I think you can just be honest with what company you are building.
Mm-hmm. And what do you see the big companies are like doing? You see, I mentioned at the beginning that you have experience from the past, but I assume that you also have some big clients currently, right?
Yeah.
So what do you see how they are playing the SEO game?
That's very general question. I would
Yeah,
say
just
like from my previous experience with working with larger companies, unfortunately I need to say that very large companies tend to um, like go a bit behind with the trends,
hmm hmm
because just because of the size that they are. Like I don't think like it was like a large company like IKEA. I don't think I think maybe not, but because IKEA has like a very strong social media presence and real time marketing, this is very good. But what's the word like I don't know, like Best Buy or Walmart, some of
Mm-hmm.
those very large brands like they they won't be able to just keep ahead, like go ahead of the curve with I don't know, like real time marketing, with
Mm-hmm.
like all of this, all of those changes, and because it just takes like a year or two just to make a decision to
Mm-hmm.
to do something on the website, and I saw that happen like so many times, and like some of the especially like technical changes, but um with what I see right now, I think like what I see right now, what I introduce to my clients is to have like more holistic approach into in SEO,
Mm-hmm.
and because many companies were doing, for example, are wanting just links or just content or just technical, and it's not like that, unfortunately. You need to have all three plus social media plus branding
Mm-hmm.
plus all of that plus other channels also done. Mm, for example, one of the brands I work with right now is a very well established brand in Poland, and they currently I help them with technical SEO and a lot of those things and like content ideation. So they focus on building content clusters around particular product categories that they have, and they have like
Mm-hmm.
1,500 of those, um, which and their content section is like going crazy, especially with mm, like over time, especially over time, because we managed to introduce proper content processes last year with them. They started writing in October, November because they were dropping in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
After I believe March update and yeah, after March update, the drop stopped. So it took 6 months for Google to see that okay, now they have quality content, now
Mm-hmm.
they are doing something well. They stopped the drop, and we won the August update and the November update. Both of those
Mm-hmm.
updates we won, and increased traffic by like 40%
Mm-hmm.
for their business, and they're doing fine right now. So having a good approach to content, having solid technical SEO, and with large brands, unfortunately, technical SEO never ends because there are always new things you can add, new issues that pop up, and yeah, especially for like large businesses, large websites,
Mm-hmm.
mm, uh, and branding. I think over this year they also introduced, for example, TikTok. They have like a TikTok account, and they change, for example,
Mm-hmm.
their articles into TikToks and just record videos with experts, and it
Mm-hmm.
seems to be
Mm-hmm.
working really well.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have very good approach into branding themselves because they do some like charity organizations and charity events, and which also helps them uh, generate like this brand recognition that they have. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I would say those 4 or 5. So technical SEO, content, links, branding, social media. Those 5 areas are like the holistic approach that I really enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to be working like really well right now. And yeah, that's what I would suggest to focus on.
And I understand that this is valid not only for the big and medium-sized companies, but also for the small ones who are just starting up, right?
Hmm. Yes, yes. I think you should see where you are lacking the most and start from
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have another client for with which I work for quite some time now, and we launched a new website in January this year, and I
Mm-hmm.
can see where I'm lacking with them because we had like a limited budget,
Mm-hmm.
and we did we are doing very good in terms of technical SEO and content. We do some links, but we don't have the branding.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that because we had some like internal limitations that we couldn't overcome. But next year, I'm sure that we will be able to do that. So I like to look at SEO into areas and sub areas and
Hmm.
see what's what's the missing, what's missing in a given business. And yeah, that's I would say a very good approach.
Definitely, definitely. I like your tip. And I have one more question. Like, actually, two. One, how do you search for the information as the SEO expert? Like, how do you search when you are interested in some topics? You need to educate yourself in, for example, a new, I don't know, update. Like, do you only go to Google, or you also go to GPT search and you go to Bing and Perplexity and so on?
Hmm. I tend to go to social media
Okay.
for like SEO information because I think like there are so many people that are pretty much like searching for the same things I'm doing. Like for example, the as you mentioned, Google updates. Um, just I think yesterday maybe not yesterday, like, last week. Last week I was thinking if the November Google update is ending. I checked it on Google documentation. I think it hasn't ended yet, but I opened LinkedIn and I saw another creator like doing a post about did Google forget to forget to announce the end of the update.
Hmm.
So that's why I see like so many creators just sharing like interesting articles, interesting stuff, and I saw like I learned so much just from being on active on social media and following good
Hmm.
creators that are sharing not only tips but also like sources
Hmm.
that they use. And back in the day, I also used like search engine land and Twitter just to be up to
Hmm.
date with what's going on. Uh, yeah, but now it's combined. I would say in
Hmm.
LinkedIn and Twitter and the news sources.
Hmm. And last question is, do you use any AI tool in your daily job?
Mm, I need to think about it. Yeah, I use as I mentioned Perplexity for like ideation
Hmm.
sometimes for just checking, just checking AI search engines. For example, I think last week I saw that this client that I mentioned that we are just starting up. We already rank both of his websites in like top two positions for some like conversational
Hmm.
queries. And sometimes I still don't know why, but we are ranking there. Um, uh, I use what else? I use Keywords Insights, which is
Hmm.
a SEO tool for content clustering or like keyword clustering,
Hmm.
which is really good and very popular right now. Mm, and I use just ChatGPT for like
Hmm.
different stuff. I sometimes I build like my own like AI agents or just have like a list of rules to follow
Hmm. Hmm.
for a given for a given task. And yeah, that's my like bread and butter, I would say. I don't
Hmm.
use any like custom AI tools. I don't think like any like content writers, any Grammarly. I don't use the AI. What else? I think that's it. I don't use no Copilot. I don't use. No. I think that's it. So
Hmm.
ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Curious Insight. That's my
Keyword inside.
yeah.
So we don't go to ChatGPT and say like, give me 50 ideas, and they create clusters around it.
No.
No, okay.
Please don't do that. I think
Please
like
don't.
every SEO strategy should be based on data, and you shouldn't get
Hmm.
your SEO data from ChatGPT because
Okay.
it's usually either outdated or not based on correct or like just taken from like thin air. And I think just even yesterday mm, I saw a post from Mark from Also Asked. He did a post about like he just made a video about ChatGPT analyzing his content and
Hmm.
seeing what can be improved. But the URL that he put in was a 404 page, like an article that didn't exist on his website. And the like ChatGPT still like mentioned that they are searching for this URL, checking it, but they gave the recommendations, but the content didn't exist. It was a 404, so they are still sorry. there are still hallucinations.
A pretty big ones, as I see. Patryk, probably the biggest question now at the end is, when I was learning SEO, there was always this never ending discussion: technical SEO or content? Which one is more important?
Both.
Both.
Both. And I would say, as I mentioned, SEO is a holistic area and it's just getting like more and more, like getting more and more sub areas. Because I think nobody was caring about branding for SEO in like 2016, 2015.
Mhm,
Maybe there were some people, but usually they were doing like branding just because they were also doing like social media and whatever. And uh, I think what's more important is the area where you are lacking the most. So,
mhm,
for example, if you have a strong technical side, uh, like with no issues, strong structured data, fast loading, great user experience, everything is like pitch perfect, but you have like no content, no like
mhm,
the for example the services that you are offering are very like low search volume. You should invest into content and focus on that. If you have a great content, if you have like tons of articles, very valuable,
mhm,
ranking well, but for example you are lacking like leading users from your articles to, for example, your e-commerce or your service pages,
mhm,
or the articles are loading very very slow, your website is lacking in functionality, then focus on technical SEO.
mhm.
I think this is like the main the core of like this conversation. Focus on like area of SEO where you are lacking the most, and I think this applies to small businesses, medium, large, and usually it's good to improve like everywhere.
Yeah. Patryk, thank you very much for the talk. I took out so much value as a former SEO, I would say. So thank you very much for being my guest.
Thank you, and I'm really glad to hear that. And yeah, I don't gatekeep anything. I like to share everything I know because like SEO is I think for the people, and I think this all of this should be just taught uh,
Mhm.
like in like business classes, just to know what's how to actually build a business. And yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you, and yeah, I was glad to just share my stuff.
Thank you very much for that one. And I will direct everybody now to your LinkedIn and other social media if you have. I will include all the links. So, once more, thank you very much for being here with me today. And let's stay in touch. Bye.